the Phillips part is the most interesting thing on the field to see how he fits in early, and I think it's going to work out well. I think that was that will end up being a great trade for the Eagles.
John, what's your concern level long term on Cam Jurgens?
I will let you know later today when he is either placed on injured reserve or not to make room for people. If he's placed on injured reserve, my concern level will grow greatly. If he's not, yeah, I won't be that concerned at all. That means he'll be back by probably, let's see, probably the Chicago game. So it's Detroit and then Chicago, right?
Detroit, Chicago, then Cowboys, then
No, the Cowboys are in between the right. I got to look at the schedule.
I don't know. When's
So
Thanksgiving?
Detroit is after tonight. It's Detroit. Then I think it's the Cowboys. Then
yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, I'm thinking it was ended. Yep, it's
so
Cowboys,
it would be the
then it's
Cowboys.
Bears, Chargers, Raiders. Then you have the last three: Commanders, Bills, Commanders.
If they don't place him on injured reserve, that means he should be back by the Cowboys game at the latest.
Yeah, because or else they would have just IR'd him for 4 weeks.
Exactly.
Right.
Now you can make a mistake and think somebody will be back in 4 weeks and it turns into 5 weeks, but still it's not that concerning. But if they place him on injured reserve, obviously it becomes a much bigger deal and just a wait and see mode with Cam Jurgens. But did not see him at all this week. Saw him, and remember they're coming off a bye, so in theory he would have had an opportunity to get better. Interestingly, leading up to the Giants game, I did see him a few times. Didn't want to talk because he was hurt. But I saw him and he seemed to be moving pretty well. But I didn't see him at all this week leading up to this game, which is now last
moving
week.
is one thing, being the center on the offensive line.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, that's I'm just looking at the guy visually and he's moving. There's you have a knee injury and there's no noticeable limp or anything like that, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Which typically there would be if it were serious, but even Dr. Chow can't make that diagnosis from watching somebody walk through the locker room.
Yeah. John, we talked about it a little bit with Jeff Kerr, but obviously kind of a revamped defense, not to the level that I think some people are talking about, but you're bringing 3 new names and people are like, oh, look at all the reinforcements. I think Jalen's obviously the most impactful and meaningful one, and it drops off significantly after that. But like Michael Carter coming into the game tonight, no Jair Alexander. He's not even traveling with the team out to Green Bay, so he's back in Philly. What kind of impact do you think maybe Michael Carter has on this game? And how do you think maybe the defense looks coming out of the bye week? Do you think they changed some things? Do you think there's different personnel looks? What are you kind of seeing there with what Vic might do or change coming off the bye week going up against the Packers tonight?
Vic ain't changing shit from a scheme perspective.
No, scheme I know. I mean personnel.
Michael will be the dime back. I don't know how much they'll be in dime, but he'll have a very limited role. And he's got to get up to speed, but he's healthy, so he'll be active and he'll play. Be the backup slot if God forbid anything happens to Cooper, and he'll be a backup safety as well. That's how they see him and envision him, sort of a Avonte Maddox-ish, which how he brought that word up as I brought that name up. That's how they see him. That's how they view him. That's his role. And it's pretty clearly defined role. But yeah, it's not going to be huge by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. Obviously, again, Jair, for those who didn't listen earlier, he's about later in the season. They're trying to get him as healthy as possible, if they can get him as healthy as possible, and hope by that point, maybe lightning can strike and he can turn into at least closer to what he was in 2022, his last big season. Unlikely, but that's what a dart throw is. I think Eagles fans should cross their fingers that Kaylee Ringo turns into a good player. I think that's the best case scenario. I think he played well. He played his best game before the bye against the Giants. He'll get another opportunity tonight. Um, but I think the leash will be short because he has been so inconsistent. And he needs to just get more consistent. And we'll see if he can do it. Adoree Jackson's going to be interesting because I think, long term, I don't see why you need both Adoree Jackson and Jair Alexander because both don't play special teams at all. And if you're going to be a backup corner, you got to play special teams. Ultimately, they may say, well, we can pull from, the linebacker group, or we can pull from here and get it done from Michael Clay and keep them both. But to me, it seems redundant long term. Maybe it's as simple as, Mac McWilliams comes up with a sprained ankle in practice and he goes to injured reserve. You got Jacorian Bennett. I mean, they got to make a decision on him soon. I got to look that up.
He was listed as questionable, right? So I don't know if
Yeah, well, he's not active. He's still on injured reserve. He's on his 21-day practice window.
Right. So now they could, in theory, though, they could activate him and make him, and like right away, right?
And that's but he's the deepest one. They have 3 players where they've opened their practice window: Jacorian, Willie Lampkin, and Nolan Smith. But Jacorian's he's the deepest into that 21 days. And that's what I'm trying to look at. When exactly the day was that they started his practice window. So I'm trying to do that on the fly here. But they have to make a decision on him pretty quickly. And it was October 22nd when they started his 21-day practice window. So that's 9 days in the rest of October, which means you got 12 more. So they have basically until right after this game where they got to either activate him, put him on the 53, or he's got to go back to injured reserve for the rest of the season, and then you can't activate him. So they have to make that decision soon, and you would think it would be today if they want to use him. So that's something to keep an eye on later this afternoon.
Yep, good stuff. Good stuff there, John. Plenty of stuff here, to talk about with this game. We looked at a lot of it. I want to look at Micah Parsons here coming into this game. He's obviously the catalyst, and this isn't like a Packers team that's been really good against the run. I know people say Micah's the guy you run at, and I do agree that's the best way, but they're overall still a very good run defense. I want to point you to what Micah can do, though. High leverage situations. There was, and I'm going to credit Jimmy Kemsky for highlighting this sequence. 3 high leverage plays, versus the Cardinals in week 7. 3rd and goal from the 8, Parsons sack. 3rd and goal from the 10, Parsons sack. 1st and 10, Green Bay 26. Parsons sack, loss of 9, eventual turnover on downs in the Cardinals' final drive of the game. Those are 3 high leverage situations, and that's when Micah seems to really show up. I forget the game it was where he chased somebody down in overtime from behind. Did they play the Rams? No, who did they play in that game? Forget who they played. But anyway, he shows up in major, big leverage situations. He's obviously changed the complexion of that defense. Already 6.5 sacks, 14 quarterback hits this year. He's a beast, John. How do you expect the Eagles to game plan for him tonight?
Well, I always tell the story, and very few players, and the only 2 I know of are the 2 we're constantly talking about, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, where they actually name protections after the players. And the Eagles have a Parkins protection plan always when they play him. And their mentality has always been, to your point about, the lesser of 2 evils. If you can't block them, read them, try to put them in conflict. So maybe you see a little bit more RPO today to try to impact him, try to slow him down, a little bit. Part of the problem I've been talking about that spot dating back, it seems 2 weeks now because it's been so long. I don't like the spot. Again, good teams tend to bounce back after bad performances. Good players, I brought up Jahmyr Gibbs, tend to bounce back after poor performances. Well, Micah had a rare poor performance against Carolina individually. So to give you
Carolina ran the ball well, in that game.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle's has been great for them, by the way.
Yes, he has.
But they played a bad game yesterday. Carolina,
crazy
league,
Saints, right? It was like
crazy league. So Parsons entered week 9 with an NFL best 44 pressure rate of 19.7%. That's the third highest in the NFL amongst edge rushers. Against the Panthers, he had 0 pressures for the first time in his NFL career. 0. First time in his entire career. That concerns me. Just to the point of Gibbs. Maybe had his worst game as a pro 2 weeks ago, and he shows up looking like a monster. And the Lions bounce back. That concerns me. The spot concerns me. He's coming off a bad game, and that generally doesn't happen twice in a row.
Yeah, he does have an uphill battle though with the Eagles' tackles, obviously being what they are. Two very good tackles.
Yeah, well, I would say they have an uphill battle as well.
Well, I'm not saying.
I think it's and Lane is Lane and Jordan is Jordan, and they're great players. But
this is iron on iron, John.
They would be the first to tell you this will be their toughest test of the season because they're not playing.
The Wood in the chat says bullshit. Lane Johnson owns Micah Parsons. Go look at the effing stats.
Yeah. Okay, it's a bunch of Eagles fans in the chat.
Yeah,
I've talked to Lane about Micah Parsons. I know very intently what he feels about Micah Parsons, and it's not disrespectful. I'll say it that way.
No, he's a very good player. No doubt about it. Good stuff, John. We got plenty of super chats we're going to get to here in a little bit. John, are you ready to give me your score prediction on the game, Eagles-Packers?
Well, I'm already pissing people off, so I'm going to piss them off even more. I don't like it. I don't like the spot. I don't like it at all. I don't like it. I just explained why partially. I think it's going to be a close game, so it could come down, obviously, to one turnover back and forth. On the road, if the game is here, I'd pick the Eagles, but I'm picking the Packers there.
Okay.
And I'm going to go the opposite of Jeff Kerr. I'm going to go 24-20 Packers. Did he say 24-20?
Yes, he said 24-20.
I'm going to go 24-20 Packers. I'm a noted Packers fan.
You are. You're a fan of apparently every team in the NFC.
By the way, the Packers, for all their shit, I love you, Eagles fans. I do, even though I needle you sometimes. I love you to death. But, the Packers have the 8th ranked offense in the NFL. The Packers have the 5th ranked defense in the NFL. Like, they're good. The Eagles have the 24th ranked offense, the 23rd ranked defense. And the Eagles are good. The Eagles are a unique team. I say it all the time.
Yeah, they are.
But I mean, this is a really good team, a really well-rounded team. And I do give the Eagles the advantage, the Sirianni advantage, which no Eagles fan will give because they think he stinks. But he doesn't lose to these guys.
Yeah, I don't think he stinks.
He doesn't lose to McVay. He doesn't lose to LaFleur. He doesn't lose to O'Connell. So that's why I hesitated. But I just don't like the spot. If Green Bay beat Carolina, I'd probably pick the Eagles. I do not like the spot.
I got 30-20 Birds.
Woo. Easy.
I think the Birds win by 10.
Easy peasy. They're going to score 30 points against that team.
I think they're going to score 30 points. I think the Green Bay offense, 20 might be high because in the 2 games that they've lost, I think they had 13 points and 10 points. So while they have been very good at times, they can also be pretty big bust. And no Tucker Kraft, no Jaden Reed. They're relying on Christian Watson more. Wicks and all those guys are banged up. Savion Williams. I mean, some of these names, it's like, who are we even talking about here? And if they can take away Josh Jacobs or at least mitigate him, I think the Packers are going to have a really hard time moving the football tonight.
Well, I mean, that's kind of my point. Yeah, they played extremely poorly against the Panthers. No argument. That's part of my concern.
Bounce back. I don't think they have the personnel to bounce back offensively. Defensively, you might be right. 30 might be lofty for the Eagles, but I think the Eagles are going to win this game by 10 plus.
All right, we'll see. Well,
Yeah.
that's hefty, man. I could see I could see a close game on the road against the Bears. And I don't know if Golden's going to play. He doesn't even play that much, to be honest.
I think that's my biggest margin of win, a margin that I predicted this year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I think Tom is going to – they have a very good offensive line, very good running back. He's playing well despite their yards per carry. Kraft is a big injury that I'm concerned about. Musgrave is very good backup tight end, though. I will say that. They have the good luck charm. Romeo Doubs is their best receiver
right now,
by a wide margin. With his goofy, he wears the goofy helmet thing.
Yeah.
The bubble wrap, as Kelsey would call it. But he's a very good player. I'm not a Christian Watson fan, but you got to respect him. Got to respect him because he will run the fuck by you.
Yeah.
And yeah, the quarterback is a little bit too inconsistent for me, but he's also wildly talented.
He is, but Vic has beat him up, man.
Yeah.
Last 2 games,
like I said, this is all about the spot for me. I do not like the spot.
I know, but yeah, I understand what you're saying with the spot. I'm not discounting that as it means nothing. I hear what you're saying where, sometimes there's a regression or in this case, a elevation to the mean, but I don't like that. That offense is beat up, dude. Jordan Love has really been relying on Tucker Kraft in a lot of these games where they've had offensive outbursts. Now they got no Tucker Kraft. I mean, if the Eagles can stop the run tonight, I think the Packers are going to really struggle moving the ball. I really do.
It's possible. Anything's possible in this goofy ass league. But I know the Eagles, again, we don't have to say the names. Devontae, Dallas, AJ, Saquon, yada, 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 yada. They're all healthy and they don't move the football consistently.
That's true.
I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean,
Yeah, but as you pointed out, they're a weird team, man. They won the Super Bowl last year as the 30th or 31st ranked passing offense in football. I never thought that would happen. It did.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that
Sirianni perfect off of bye weeks in his career.
Yeah, and they've never lost to an NFC North team in the Sirianni era. A lot of things trend in the, but with those Sirianni stats, and to his credit, by the way, he immediately deflects to, show me a good coach, I'll show you a bunch of good players. So he's not, an egomaniac like some of these guys are. Who understands, like, if he didn't have the talent he had, he wouldn't be 9-0 against the NFC North. He wouldn't be 3-0 against the Packers. He wouldn't be 4-0 after a bye. All his numbers are phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a good team. He'll be the first to tell you that. But I agree with you. I think Nick deserves more credit. I'm with you.
All his numbers are phenomenal. So there's a lot of numbers that will trend the Eagles' way because nobody has won more than they have over the past few seasons. So everything trends in a positive direction there. It bothers me though that with all this talent, that this team struggles so much on offense.
It bothers me.
I,
Too. Believe me,
defensively, I expected this ups and downs because they lost so much
right.
coming off the Super Bowl. I expected this sort of season, and I think it's been better, to be honest, than I expected. The offense bothers me. And, you know, like I said, I caught Devontae admitting the identity, which I not think I know does not make everyone happy, but they keep winning for the most part. Had a little hiccup this year, but
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think you're
I mean, it
wrong.
wouldn't surprise me at all if the Eagles won this game. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, I know that. I think I think what you're saying about the offense is pretty fair. I think most people who are honest, or at least try to be honest, or at least pursue truth to some degree, want to see a little more out of the offense. I mean, you got all these great players. You got some of the best players, maybe we've ever had in franchise history at the wide receiver position. One of the best running backs we've had in a long time. I think people want to see more. I think that's fair, but they do find ways to win games. And to me, this is more about the Packers offense. I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball. I know we haven't had a great time in stopping. Most teams have been able to move the ball on us this year, but
I do think I am interested to see how impactful Jaelan Phillips could be, and it might take a while.
I mean,
wouldn't
in my
panic.
opinion, if you pressure Jordan Love tonight, you're getting a turnover or maybe more.
Well, he hasn't turned it over this year.
I know he hasn't, but he's susceptible.
He had a horrible throw.
What's he got this year? 3 picks?
3 picks.
Any fumbles or anything?
I don't have his fumbles in front of me. I'm sure he's fumbled. I mean, he's a quarterback. I'm sure he has. He's got 3 fumbles, 1 loss. He's got 4 total turnovers. This is not bad. I mean, in a non-Eagles world, that's pretty damn good. The Eagles don't turn the football over at all. Jalen's got 1 interception. He's got the exact same numbers fumble-wise, 3 fumbles, 1 lost. So he's got 2 turnovers. Jordan Love's got 4. Jordan Love's thrown it 250 times, so he's thrown it a little bit more with those 3 interceptions. Jalen's at 215 with his 1. Obviously, Jalen runs it more. Jordan he's athletic, but he's not really a runner. He looks to extend plays more than run the football, but he can hurt you occasionally with this athleticism. He's a good player. And I think that's a positive for them because he was a little bit too reckless for me, and he seems to have cured that this year.
Yeah,
at least so far. But yeah, maybe it defaults. Maybe he goes back to his default setting because he wants to push the football down the field. There's no doubt about that. Like, this ain't the Eagles. They're not going to be risk adverse to a fault. They're gonna push the ball down the field. 9.1 yards per attempt against man coverage this season. That's second highest in the NFL. Jordan Love. He's trying to get the ball down the field. So that makes you susceptible.
Yeah.
To more.
What do you think, John, of their offensive line? Because I think that's where a lot of my prediction is coming in. They have, I think, Rasheed Walker is their left tackle. They've had Aaron Banks in there, and now he was injured. I think he had a stinger, and then Sean Rheon filled in at left guard. I don't know if Banks is – I think he's healthy, so I think Banks will be back out there this week. Elton Jenkins is their center. He's a guy that has switched between guard and center. At right guard, they had, I think, Sean Rheon started the year, and then he was replaced with Jordan Morgan, who I think they
Jordan Morgan, yeah,
2024, a first-round pick. And then they have Zach Tom, who has turned into one of the best right tackles in football. A little banged up, but I'm assuming he goes. He is still on the injury report. I kind of feel like that interior with Banks and Jenkins and Morgan, or whether Rheon's in there, maybe Sean Rheon or Ryan, however you say that. I think you can get a lot of pressure up the middle here, and those tackles are going to be occupied with the reinforcements at edge. It's not just Jaelan Phillips. I mean, if you get Nolan Smith back, you get Brandon Graham. There's a lot more bodies to go around at that position.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, but I assume they're going to force the Eagles to prove that. I think they're going to game plan for Jalen Carter, as everybody does with the Eagles. Right. It's one of the better. It's a top 5 offensive line when they're healthy. I hesitate to compare anybody with the Eagles offensive line. So I always go on that, but they're very good up front. Zach Tom's the best player to have. I'm not in love with Rasheed Walker, as you pointed out, but he's not terrible.
No, he's definitely not terrible, but I think he had to win that job in camp. Like I don't know how good he is. I think there's some opportunities to feast there.
He's okay. He's above average, I would say. Jenkins is a very good player. Very good player. And Morgan's getting better, and Banks is solid. So compared to most teams that aren't spoiled to a ludicrous degree, like the Eagles, it's a pretty good offensive line compared to everybody else. So yeah, they're just a good team. They're a good team, all around team. Good offense. Very few teams have top 5 offense, top 5 defense. They were in that category until last week. Still top 8 offense, top 5 defense. Very well-rounded, good team that can beat you on both sides of the football. Where I think the Eagles might have an advantage is the kicking game. McManus is old, not Tim, but Brandon. Yeah, so Jake's a better kicker, so if it comes down to that, and it's a weather game too, so it's gonna.
I think it's 20 degrees. I think the Eagles are used to that. It's just the first one of the year.
Well, I mean, from a kicking standpoint, generally you don't get those big booming 60-yarders. Yeah, exactly. That cold. No, I think from a footing perspective and all, it'll be fine. Devontae's not going to be happy. He doesn't like playing in the cold, but he's done fine in it in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just mean from a kicking perspective, you're probably not getting any 60-yarders today.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's go to some super chats. I want to thank everybody for being here. Hit that like button. Got a big crowd in here today. Can we get the 350 likes today for game day? Appreciate everybody for being here. All super chats always go to the top. Let's get to them now. Vulnerable Vitality started the show off early. Happy birthday to my fellow Marines in the chat. Semper Fidelis. I love it. Vulnerable. Happy birthday to the great United States Marine Corps. Well done. Brian Fleming says, who remembers Big Shot? The mascot.
I love Big Shot.
Big Shot.
I love Big Shot.
For the Sixers.
I love Big Shot far more than hip hop.
Yeah.
Far more.
Big Shot was good. He wore the number 1 jersey, didn't he? I think I remember the pictures of him.
Big goofy Muppet looking thing. Yeah, I love Big Shot.
Muppet version of Jordan Davis and Cilio.
I love Big Shot. In fact, I would bring him back before I'd bring hip hop back.
It's a good one. Fleming, good pull. Here's Corporate B Pumper. This is a legacy game for Green Bay. QB's in the 27th birthday. Kennard on a possible 4th ring chase, and Micah revenge game. This is their year, fellas, not ours. SM.
I love that part stick. There's never a legacy game at week 10 of the NFL, but
it's Pumper, John. Don't put them
I get it. Yeah. Kennard chasing that 4th ring is tremendous legacy. I'm gonna, vote for him for the Hall of Fame.
There you go. Here's Dank. What's up, Dank? You know why we hate them? Jaden Daniels dancing while losing by 18 in the NFC Championship. That was brutal. Screw Washington.
Okay. Whatever. Guys celebrate when they're down 30 and make a turnover. I mean,
that was a bad look, John. Playoff
it's
game.
It's always a bad look. Yeah, everybody's got a celly now. That's what the kids call it.
Well, so remember, it's still an entertainment game. You know what I mean? Like, I know, but down 30, 23 scores in a playoff game, and you're
happens that watch every week. You saw guys that late
in the NFC Championship game.
Well, my point is that's a generation of people that think differently of the game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
They
fair.
celebrate everything.
That's a fair reaction. Here's Leon. J-Mac, take the L, bro. Stop deflecting. You're wrong. He said he was wrong.
I get a kick out of people.
And here's N1. Commanders tickets are back at $50. Life is good again. And you call plays for $100. Fuck them. Go Birds. I don't know what you mean by call plays for $100.
Yeah, I don't know.
N1, thank you, brother.
It's like, back when, because I'm a Yankees fan, back when we used to own the Boston Red Sox, there was a great commercial. Alec Baldwin, Yankees fan, John Krasinski, Red Sox fan. They were arguing back and forth about their teams. And Baldwin just ended it with, kindling doesn't have a rivalry with fire. You're fire. They're the kindling. Act like it.
That's fair. Scott Squad says, with Green Bay's tight end out, they will use their running game more. Baum will be tested against Jacobs. I agree. I think that he's ready for the
test. I never worry about Zach Baum.
Me neither.
I'll tell you that. That guy is unbelievable football player.
Here's Sean Mims. Ask Sills about Mayfield and Allen. They bout not MVP. I'll ask him about him. I'm sure we'll talk about him today, Sean. But yeah, Josh Allen does not look good right now. And Baker Mayfield has kind of fallen off a little bit. John, you were on that early. Yeah, here's corporate B pump. Go ahead, John, if you want to respond to
that. Baker's not an MVP level player. Good player, good quarterback, not MVP level quarterback.
Here's corporate pump. B Pumper does not believe in all the hoopla with his Eagles. This will start our 2-game skid. These next two teams are
Pumper even an Eagles fan. I kind of like Pumper from the fact he is an Eagles fan, but he just always shits on the Eagles. I think
so you can't really tell what he is. You know, simple.
Yeah. Now the Eagles are a very good team. I don't like this spot though. Doesn't mean I hate your favorite team.
Here's Dank. When the kindling thinks it's fire, though.
Still kindling. What does it matter? What does it matter? Yeah. I mean, like it's the old thing with Barry Sanders scoring a touchdown versus the celebrations you're talking about celebrating. Yeah. Act like you've been there fucking before. Yeah, you're the Super Bowl champions. Your team. Act like you've been there before. Well, that's how I approach it.
I agree with you, but isn't that even more elevated when Jaden's dancing like an idiot in the end zone down 3 scores?
Hey, let them. But my point is, why would that bother you?
I get that. That's fine. Well, like you just said, you prefer Barry just handing the ball to the official.
Well, I'm saying that's what I act like you've been there before. The Eagles fans, again, to the point of this overarching mentality. You got to be the underdog. You're not the underdog. This is literally the first game all year you've been in. Are they still an underdog? They're always favored for the most part.
I think they're 1.5.
Everybody thinks they're the best organization in football, and they are organizationally. Like you're the top of the food chain. Act like it. You're not. You don't have to worry about. Oh, we haven't won a Super Bowl. Now you got 2. Oh, we haven't done this. We haven't done that. No, you're top of the food chain. You're Barry Sanders. Hand the football to the official. Move on to the next one. That's my advice. You can do whatever you want.
Fair enough, Johnny Mac. John, a couple minutes left on the show today. All right, Eagles taking on the Packers tonight, 8:15 under the lights. A little Monday night football action. Your final thoughts here, John, on a Monday edition, a game day Monday of Birds 365.
Finally, a football game is here. We can get back to actually talking about things that actually happened on the field tomorrow. And it is a little bit more interesting to see how Jaelan Phillips specifically will fit in because I think he'll have a big role right off the bat. Obviously, the other two, Jair is not even going to play, not even in Green Bay. Probably want to keep him away from that. That was part of it, obviously, because he was with the Packers for a long time. Michael Carter will have a limited role, I expect. So the Phillips part is the most interesting thing on the field to see how he fits in early, and I think it's going to work out well. I think that was that will end up being a great trade for the Eagles.
Good stuff, Johnny Mac. Appreciate it. Big game today, brother. Maybe one of the best of the year so far versus this Packers team in Green Bay. Lambeau Field, obviously a historic football place to play, and it should be a good one tonight. We will talk to you, John, on the pregame show tonight, my friend.
And that, a standalone game real quick before I leave. That it's good to have two good teams, so it should be a good game.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there were some shit shows in the late afternoon window yesterday, so it should be a good game.